Hi everyone, happy Emancipation Day, August 1st, 1834. So, our foreparents would say August morning, and you don't know what that is about. August morning mean August 1st, they are free. So we already know that it was done in two parts, August 1st, 1834 and August 1st, 1838. Sometimes it's very confusing for many people. One thing that people don't understand is that the legislation only freed the enslaved below the age of 6. That was August 1st, 1834. Enslaved people older than 6 years of age were redesignated as apprentices and required to work 40 hours per week without pay. Part of the compensation payment to their former owners. Emancipation was finally achieved at midnight, July 31st, 1838. Night of July 31st, 1838, no one hardly slept. And you can hear the accounts if you read certain books saying that they were restless. They just wanted the day to come, right? When they have full freedom. They went into trees. They did all type of things to look at the sun rising when they were fully free. That's how it went. They were apprentices at first, and that was for 4 years. It was supposed to go until 1840, but there was a lot of rumblings, so it had to be cut down to 1838. I don't believe that they could go past 1838. To our brothers and sisters in the North, they had another, 25, 30 years to go before they were set free. And I'm speaking of those in America. So the ones that were under the British rule gained freedom long before those in America. So we have to just remember our ancestors and how they fought to make that day happen. And of course, it came earlier than many places. And just remember, because of the uprising in Jamaica in 1831 to 1832, that main uprising, the Sam Sharp Rebellion, put all those wheels into motion. One rebellion that happened in Jamaica, 1831, 1832, even though he lost his life and thousands of others, sent that message. That's what was important. Gave their lives for us. Here to enjoy it, but they knew their children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren and so forth will enjoy. They sacrificed in more ways than one. So, on August 1st, 1838, you hear your great-grandparents, maybe you hear them speaking of full free. That's how they communicated. But we understand that they meant full freedom. A lot of people don't know that the early Jamaicans struggled with English language. There was like many languages, right? And they struggled as a group, and they had to form one common language to make everybody understand. And that's how the early patois came about, because everybody had their own thing going on. We have to show a lot of respects to those that were ahead of us. They really fought very, very hard. And the core of the fighting was in Jamaica, right? And if you go back, I'm going to pin the link of the last war that was held at the Spanish River. Sometimes we're in Jamaica and we don't know. When we pass certain things, you will never know what happened there 200-300 years ago or 150 years ago, right? But the Spanish River War, at that Spanish River between the Maroons of Portland and the English soldiers. And the English soldiers were crying, did not want to be captured. They rather to be taken out right there. So that can tell you, because Nani did not play around, and she was the one who was passing the sentences. Right? So if you come into our territory and you disturb our people and you burn homes, you're going to pay, right? So the last war was held right there on the Spanish River bank where the English soldiers were pinned down by the Maroons of Portland. Many of them died on that bank, and that tells you a lot because the person who wrote in his diary, Colonel Thickness, said you can't see them. You know they're there, but you can't see them. Because of what? They use camouflage. So how are you going to fight what you can't see? And they're open, they're in red coats, so they're just being picked off. And the way the Maroons operated, they know before you even come into their territory. They know all the lieutenants, they know all the army officers, they know all the foot soldiers, they know everybody, even the ones that are carrying the bags for the soldiers. They call them the black shots. Ones that they took from the plantation, the enslaved people, to bring the food and the luggage and the bags and all of that. Those were called the black shots. And they have lookouts where they can count every footstep. They don't miss. They know how many persons are coming in by counting the footsteps because they place certain things in the footpath that you have to step on it. And when you step on that particular thing, they register that as a body or as a person. So they're very intellectual. These people, they know about warfare. So they did not come here and learn warfare. Experience of Nanny will tell you that this lady was exposed to a lot of warfare and she was in some type of leadership position. When everything was done and they signed that peace treaty in 1738, the governor, Trelawney, got Kojo up in Akangpang to sign that peace treaty. And they were trying to get the Maroons of Portland to sign the peace treaty as well. Those days there was much communication, and the Maroons in Portland did not know that Kojo had signed. Of course, they're going to come and try to manipulate the Portland Maroons by saying Akangpang town have signed and, your brother signed, Kojo signed. What are you doing? You're holding up things. We want you to sign as well. We want a peace treaty. But Nanny was the one who was holding out. And in the end, it was her brother, Kwao. We don't learn much about these soldiers of ours because Kwao was very intelligent. According to Lieutenant Thickness, he said he spoke very well. So he spoke English very well, which was very uncommon. He knew how to communicate. He had finesse. So he was saying in his book that Kwao must have been exposed to quote unquote Caucasian people. He had all his manners intact, and he was very diplomatic, very intelligent, and he was a lieutenant under Nanny. So after Nanny, then him. He was like a first lieutenant under Nanny, which is his sister. So Kwao would go back to Nanny and say X, Y, and Z. What you think of this? What you think of that? Should we sign? Should we not sign? And these are what is being put in front of us and so on. And Nanny would say that she wants everyone to be free, not just the Maroons. Everyone, including the enslaved people on the flats. So Nanny held out as long as she could. And it was Kwao who encouraged Nanny to sign. Nanny did not sign physically, but she, of course, sent him as a representative to sign. Her signature was not there. Her X was not there. It was Kwao who signed that document in the end. So Kwao, I'm very impressed. We don't learn much about our people. He was there doing everything, negotiating. He was the one who was leading the people in battle. Remember all our ancestors this day on August 1st. Salute to all the ones who fought the battle. This August 1st, we salute all our ancestors who made it possible for us. We're getting better and better. So they fought for equity, peace, and dignity. And that's what we're enjoying at the moment. Remember those who made it possible. I was reading this book and it says they were lighting the fire in the cane field. One planter who owned the plantation, they aimed and they took out one of the enslaved person who was fighting, and his name is Paul. So we never get the last names of these people. The other enslaved people said they're not going to give up. They're not going to leave his body there for them to desecrate the body, risk their lives and limbs to get him out of the cane fields. And that was just phenomenal. They took him out. So salute to you, Sir Paul. We never got your last name, but there were so many unsung heroes. And you hear another story that one planter said his billiard table, brand new from England, that the enslaved people has lit up like a matchbox. So you can tell that they were worshiping their property, but they're not seeing what the enslaved people were going through. They're living up their high lives, enslaving and taking everything from us to build on themselves. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Take care of yourself and others. Bye for now.